Okay, now that you were able to open the file from the public drive and access the virtual desktop, we're going to go right from the file that you saved. So if I see a T7 CAD file with your last name or your first and last name, I know you're there. So the point of this is just sort of acclimate you to this program. This is a two-dimensional drawing program, and anytime you see any icon or logo or brand, a lot of times the designers are using a 2D program, and they're using things like hatch to fill and add depth and color. So we're going to keep it really, really simple today. Just a few points to kind of recognize. Down here, this is called a command line. So sometimes when we draw something, it's going to ask for certain pieces of information, like where do you want to go, where do you want to end. And anytime you open up a program, you always have to initiate the program. And how do you initiate the program? Well, up here, there is this icon right here. That stands for line. And if you see the line, there are 2 points. So anytime you draw a line, there's a start point and an end point. That's what those 2 dots represent. So once you click on this icon one time, you don't have to double click. Inside of this box, this is your workspace. So I'm just going to click and drag and then press enter. Okay? And there's my line. Right, and if you zoom in a little bit, you're going to see a lot of these little dots. These are called grid dots, and these are just visual references to help you draw or design. So there's a few things we're going to take you through. So again, anytime you open a drawing and you want to edit something, make sure you initialize the program by just drawing a small line anywhere. All right, so I might just get rid of this. So anytime you click on something you've drawn, a few keys you're going to use. You're going to be using Enter on the keyboard or Escape, which is the upper left ESC button on your computer. Anytime you want to get out of something, it's always good to hit Escape. Okay, so once I draw a line and I click on the line, you're going to see 3 points of reference. So these are called hot points. And what you can do is you can click on these blue points and you could sort of relocate the line. If I click on one of the end hot points, I could change the length, the angle, and same thing goes for this one here. Now, if I want to delete it, you're going to go all the way over to the right side, and this is delete or erase. Okay. Now, anything on the left side of the screen, that is a drawing command. So you have line, you have an infinite line, you have a rectangle, you have polylines, arcs, circles, etc. Some of these you're going to use, some of them you may not touch at all. One of the things we're also going to use is this button right here called Hatch and Fill. And that's going to add color and depth. That's a fun one to use. And again, understanding what the icons mean and what they do is really important. So again, going back to the command line, let's say if I want to draw a line, the command line will automatically say, hey, what's your start point? Well, anywhere in the workspace is fine. And then it's going to say, what's your next point? And you can just navigate around and draw as many lines as you want. But then you've got like a stage 5 clinger. It won't let go of you. So in order to get out of this, you could either, again, hit Escape on the keyboard or Enter or Return on your keyboard, and that ends it. Okay, so if you do have a mouse, you do have the ability to zoom in and zoom out. So a lot of these mice that we use have rollers, and if we roll back, you're going to zoom in. If you roll forward, you're going to zoom out. And sometimes some mouses are a little bit different. It might be opposite. But how do you zoom into different locations? Well, the first thing you do is move your mouse to a location, and then you're going to zoom in. And that zooms into where the mouse is. And then I'll zoom out, I'll roll over to a different area, and then I'll zoom in. So anytime you want to zoom to a location, you have to move your mouse first. So if I want to zoom into the hello, until I see nothing but blue, I'm going to move my mouse to that location. Okay. Now, let's say you're zooming and all of a sudden you lose everything. Oh my gosh, where'd it all go? So there's 2 commands. The first thing I always tell the students here in school is first hit Escape on the keyboard, make sure you're not in any command, and then you're going to press and type Z for zoom. So it's Z, Enter, A, Enter. And then that brings you right back home. So again, if you zoom way out or zoom way in and you don't know what happened or you feel like you lost everything, hit Escape on the keyboard, Z, Enter, A, Enter. Okay, that's it. Now over here, these are all your modify commands. Some of these you're going to use, some of them we may not touch until 8th grade. Why are we using 2D CAD? Because eventually when you are in 8th grade, you're going to be converting a 2D drawing that you make to a 3D program, which eventually is going to communicate with our 3D printer, and you'll be printing something you design. So again, you have ways to trim lines, extend lines, mirror it, and most importantly for right now, delete. So a lot of times when I want to clear out my workspace, I'm just going to click and drag a box around everything I've worked on so I see all these blue dots. Sometimes if this line, if I missed it, you'll see how these lines became dotted, this line didn't, so I can again click on this to make sure that's dotted as well, and then I can come up here and delete. Okay. Now, it's a drawing program and it's meant to make very technical drawings. So down here, there are some things that are going to help you out. You have this icon right here. Now, anytime you hover over an icon, it's going to allow you to, it's going to show what it can do. So this is called Snap. This one here is called Grid. So if you like seeing the grid as a visual reference, it's a little light blue color, that means it's on. If you don't like the grid, you can click on it once and turn it off. Me personally, I like having the grid. And then there's this one right here. This is called Ortho. Now, Ortho is a very specific type of drawing. So if I actually click on the line icon and I want to go to draw, you can see you have a lot of freedom and a lot of angles you can go. Now, if you want to draw a perfectly straight line, you sort of have to zoom in and really dial in your eyesight to see, is that straight? By turning on Ortho, it only allows you to draw straight, horizontally, or vertically. No matter where the cursor is. You can see my cursor is way up here, but the line is straight no matter what. So this is a nice feature. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it gets in the way, so while you're drawing, you can always go down here and turn it off. Okay? And then obviously, press enter to get out. So a lot of times, especially on our first drawing activity, you're going to be using Ortho to make sure these lines are straight, and turning off Ortho and zooming to make sure these lines are angled, and then turning it on for straight lines. And that's the activity we're going to get up to. So the first thing we want you to do here is just acclimate yourself with the program. Understand how to draw a line. Again, we said anytime you open up a new drawing, make sure you initiate it by just drawing a line that wakes up the program and you're good to go. Okay? Don't worry about saving anything just yet. Anything we're doing right now is just acclimating you, understanding where the line command is, understanding where the erase command is, and understanding what this Ortho is. It's very powerful. So we're going to conclude this first video just to keep you acclimated. Go ahead and draw whatever you want with your lines. Try out the rectangle. Rectangle is just as easy as a line. It's 2 dots, 2 points of reference. Click, drag, click. Circle, click, drag, click. And then you have an arc, that's 3 points of reference. Click, click, and then click. And again, same thing. Anytime you click on one of these points, you can adjust the different angles and radiuses, and it's really easy. All right, so I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to take these out of your drawing, and then we'll save it. Good luck. Please post to the classroom if you have any issues accessing, and we'll go from there to the next video.